My name is Caroline Fletcher. I'm 18 years old, and the moment I crossed that graduation stage, my parents decided I wasn't worth keeping anymore. The ceremony ends at 3:47 p.m. I know because I check my phone 12 times waiting for them in the parking lot. The sun bakes asphalt until it smells like tar and broken promises. Everyone else has already left with their families, arms full of flowers and restaurant reservations. I stand alone holding a rolled diploma that feels like a joke someone forgot to explain. Their silver Lexus pulls up at 4:19. Not beside me. 10 feet away, engine running. Mom doesn't get out. She cracks the window 3 inches, just enough for her voice to slip through like she's talking to a stranger asking for directions. Caroline, we've decided you need to learn independence. Real-world skills. Her manicured nails drum the door frame. There's a bus station 2 blocks west. We've arranged everything you'll need. I stare at her through tinted glass that makes her face look like a photograph of someone I used to know. What do you mean, arranged? Dad leans across her, his wedding ring catching light. We've transferred $200 to your account. That should cover initial expenses. You're an adult now. Adults figure things out. The window slides up before I can respond. The Lexus pulls away smooth as a scalpel, turning left onto Magnolia Avenue. I watch the license plate shrink until it becomes just another piece of metal in traffic. My hands shake. Not from sadness, from something sharper. Something that tastes like copper and feels like clarity. If you're feeling that same rage building in your chest right now, hit that like button. Subscribe to Formidable Revenge channel because this story is about to get deliciously dark. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and let's watch this revenge unfold together. The bus station smells like diesel and desperation. I have one duffel bag, my diploma, and a bank balance that won't survive the month. The ticket agent barely looks up when I ask for the cheapest destination. Ashford, she says. Population 3,200, bus leaves in 40 minutes. I buy the ticket with $38. The bills feel thin as lies. Ashford, Illinois exists in the space between nowhere and forgotten. The bus drops me on Main Street at 9:34 p.m. 3 streetlights work. The fourth flickers like it's sending Morse code to ghosts. I find a motel called the Starlight Inn. No stars visible. The neon sign buzzes with the persistence of a dying wasp. The clerk is a woman named Gloria who looks like she's seen every bad decision arrive on foot. How long you staying? However long this covers. I slide my last $40 across scarred laminate. She gives me room 7 and a look that might be sympathy or just exhaustion. Ice machine's broke. Shower runs cold after 10 minutes. Lock works though, that's something. The room smells like cigarettes someone tried to cover with lavender spray. The wallpaper peels in strips like old skin. But the door locks. The window opens. For the first time in 18 years, nobody can tell me what to do or who to be. I lie on sheets that feel institutional and stare at water stains shaped like continents on the ceiling. My phone dies at 11:47 p.m. I don't charge it. Let them wonder. Let them sleep. In my duffel bag, I find things they packed. 3 shirts, 1 pair of jeans, deodorant, a toothbrush. No family photos, no birthday cards, no evidence I was ever theirs except for the last name I'm already planning to shed like dead weight. Morning comes gray and unforgiving. I shower in water that turns arctic after 8 minutes. I brush my teeth and stare at my reflection in a mirror spotted with age. The girl looking back has their cheekbones, their stubborn jaw. But her eyes are different now. Harder, hungrier. I walk Main Street looking for work signs. Ashford has 2 restaurants, 1 hardware store, a library smaller than my old bedroom, and a place called Timber and Grain that builds custom furniture. The owner is a man named Raymond Pierce, who needs help sanding, finishing, general labor. Ever worked with wood? He asks. No, sir. You willing to learn? I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Something in my voice makes him nod. $7 an hour, cash, mornings to 3 o'clock. You got a problem with splinters? I've got bigger problems than splinters. He hands me safety goggles and leather gloves. Start Monday. I piece together survival like a quilt made from rags. Mornings at Timber and Grain, learning to sand oak until it feels like silk, breathing sawdust that settles in my lungs like sediment. Afternoons at Betty's Diner, washing dishes until my hands prune, serving coffee to truckers who tip in quarters. Evenings at the Quick Mart, ringing up lottery tickets and cheap wine for locals who've stopped noticing my face. $7 here, $6.50 there, $8.25 from the third job. I stack hours like bricks, building a wall between survival and drowning. Raymond teaches me patience. Wood remembers, he says, running his hand along pine grain. Every cut, every scar. It shows you what it's been through. You can't rush it. You can't lie to it. I learned to read grain like language, to feel when a board wants to split, to coax beauty from timber other people call scrap. Raymond gives me remnants, pieces too small for customer orders. Practice, he says. See what you can make when nobody's watching. At night, in room 7 that still smells like someone else's mistakes, I sketch designs on receipt paper. A shelf that curves like water, a box with dovetail joints, a chair that might hold someone gently. I don't have tools. I don't have materials. But I have time and rage and hands that are learning precision. Months blur into a rhythm that feels almost like living. I move from the Starlight Inn to a studio apartment above the hardware store. One room, kitchenette, bathroom with a shower that stays hot for 15 minutes. Luxury. I buy a secondhand phone, the cheapest model that still connects to the world. My parents' number sits in my contacts like a tumor I can't quite cut out. I never call. They never call. The silence between us grows teeth. Then the email arrives. 3 months, 2 weeks, 4 days after they abandoned me at graduation. Subject line: Important family update. Caroline. Your father and I wanted to inform you that we're planning a significant family celebration. Your Uncle Timothy is retiring after 30 years at Harrison and Cole. The reunion will be held at Riverside Park, Elmhurst on June 14th. Family and close associates invited. We trust you're managing adequately in your new circumstances. Regards, Patricia Fletcher. Not mom, not love, just regards like I'm a business acquaintance she met at a conference once. I read it 17 times. Each time, that word adequately burrows deeper under my skin. Raymond finds me in the workshop at midnight, sanding a walnut plank with violence masked as precision. You're going to sand through to China, he says quietly. I don't stop. The rhythm keeps the thoughts at bay. He pulls up a stool. Want to talk about what's eating you? I tell him about the email. About adequately. About parents who erased me like chalk on a board and now send invitations like I'm supposed to show gratitude for being remembered at all. Raymond listens without interrupting. When I finish, he stands, walks to his office, returns with a business card. My daughter runs a gallery in Portland. Modern furniture, custom pieces. She's always looking for new artists. He sets it on my workbench. You've got something, Caroline, not just skill, anger with direction. That's rocket fuel if you don't let it explode. I stare at the card. Vivian Pierce, curator, Cascade Modern Gallery. I can't afford to ship anything to Portland. Then make something so good she comes here. All right, we're getting to the good part now. If you're invested in Caroline's revenge, smash that subscribe button. Comment below. She's building more than furniture if you know what's coming next. This is Formidable Revenge Channel, and we're just getting started. I spend the next month building a coffee table. Not from spite alone, though spite greases the joints nicely. I use reclaimed cherry wood Raymond lets me buy at cost. I design angles that shouldn't work but do, a top that appears to float above the base, legs that curve like question marks. I take photos with my cheap phone under workshop lights that make the grain glow amber and gold. I email Vivian Pierce with no expectations, just evidence that I exist. She responds in 4 hours. Caroline. This is extraordinary work. I'd like to feature you in our summer collection, Emerging Voices in American Craft. Can you produce 3 pieces? I'll cover materials and shipping. Commission split, 60-40 in your favor. Thoughts? Vivienne. My hands shake reading it. Raymond grins like he's won a bet with God. Told you, he says simply. I work like a woman possessed. 3 pieces in 6 weeks. A dining table with inlaid maple that catches light like trapped sun. A bookshelf that spirals upward, defying the geometry of ordinary furniture. A bench with a hidden compartment beneath the seat where secrets can sleep. Vivienne sells all 3 in the first week. The table for $2,800. The shelf for $3,400. The bench for $1,900. My 60% arrives in my bank account like a miracle written in numbers. 4,260. I've never seen 4 digits with my name attached. Raymond watches me stare at my phone screen, reading the balance over and over. This is just the beginning, he says. Vivienne wants 6 more pieces for fall. 2 galleries in Chicago are asking about your work. You've got something they can't manufacture or fake. I'm still processing when the second email arrives. From Patricia Fletcher. Subject: RE. Reunion confirmation, Caroline. We haven't heard your response regarding the family reunion. Please confirm your attendance by June 1st for catering purposes. Your cousin Stephanie will be there with her fiancé. Your brother Christopher is flying in from Boston. We expect you'll make an effort with your appearance. This is a professional gathering. First impressions matter. Regards, Patricia. The words, make an effort, sit on my screen like venom. I show Raymond. He reads it twice, then looks at me with something between pity and fury. You're going, aren't you? I am. Not for them. No. For me. He nods slowly. Then we make you unforgettable. The next morning, Raymond introduces me to his wife, Helen, who owns a boutique in the next town over. She looks at me like I'm a project she's been waiting her whole life to complete. Your parents, she says, expect you to show up looking defeated, grateful, small. She circles me, assessing. We're going to make you look like money they can't touch. She dresses me in clothes that cost more than my first month's rent. Charcoal blazer tailored to precision. Black pants that make my legs look longer. Silk blouse the color of steel. Shoes that click with authority. Hair pulled back severe and elegant. Makeup subtle but sharp. No jewelry except a watch that Raymond lends me, vintage and expensive. I look in the mirror and don't recognize myself. The girl who arrived in Ashford in second-hand denim has been replaced by someone who looks like she belongs in rooms where decisions are made. Perfect, Helen says. Now remember, you don't need their validation, you just need them to see what they threw away. The reunion is held at Riverside Park in Elmhurst. White tents, catered food. A jazz band playing background music for people who measure worth in college degrees and stock portfolios. I arrive in a town car Raymond insists on paying for. The driver opens my door. I step out onto grass that's been manicured to country club standards. Heads turn. Not everyone, but enough. I walk toward the main tent with my spine straight and my jaw set. I'm scanning faces, looking for them, when I hear her voice. Oh my God. Caroline? My cousin Stephanie. Perfect teeth, perfect hair, perfect fiancé standing beside her like an accessory she bought to match her handbag. It's been forever, she says, hugging me like we're friends who lost touch instead of relatives who never liked each other. You look amazing. What are you doing now? Where are you living? I'm a furniture designer, I say, working between Illinois and Portland. That's so quirky, she says, and the word quirky lands like a slap disguised as a compliment. Her fiancé, Preston, extends his hand. Furniture design, interesting. Is there money in that? Before I can answer, I see them. Mom and Dad standing near the bar, drinks in hand, laughing with my uncle. They look exactly the same. Polished, comfortable, untouched by the decision they made to erase me. I walk toward them. Each step feels like crossing a battlefield. They don't see me coming, They're too busy talking to my Uncle Timothy, the man this whole reunion celebrates. Mom gestures with her martini glass, describing something expensive they just purchased. I stop 3 feet away. Close enough they should notice. They don't. Patricia. Gerald. I say their names like titles instead of family. They turn. Mom's eyes scan me briefly. There's a flicker of something. Recognition? Confusion? Then it smooths into polite indifference. I'm sorry, Mom says with that smile she uses on salespeople. Have we met? The world stops. My own mother doesn't recognize me. Dad squints like he's trying to place a face from a distant conference. You look familiar. Are you associated with Timothy's firm? I can't breathe. Can't speak. The rage I've been feeding for 8 months suddenly has nowhere to go because they've stolen even this moment from me. I'm Caroline. I manage. My voice sounds hollow. Your daughter. Mom's face changes. Her eyes widen. The martini glass trembles slightly. Caroline? She sounds uncertain. But you look so different. Your hair. Your clothes. She laughs nervously. I didn't recognize you. You've really changed. Dad's expression hardens. Not guilt. Irritation. We didn't expect you to come. You invited me? We sent an obligation email. Mom corrects. We didn't think you'd actually show up looking like... She gestures vaguely at my outfit. This. Like what? Like you're pretending to be someone you're not. The words hit like acid. Every sentence is designed to cut, to remind me I'm the charity case who should be grateful they're speaking to me at all. I stand there absorbing their rejection like I've absorbed every other wound they've given me. But this time, something different happens. Instead of crumbling, I feel myself go cold. Calculating, clear. You're right, I say softly. I'm not pretending to be anyone. I'm just not the person you remember because that person died in a parking lot last June. Uncle Timothy, who's been watching this exchange with increasing discomfort, steps forward. Caroline, I heard you've been doing well. Furniture design, isn't it? I turn to him. Yes, sir. Custom pieces. I've been featured in galleries in Portland and Chicago. Mom laughs. It sounds brittle. Galleries? Caroline, let's not exaggerate. I'm not exaggerating. Would you like proof? I pull out my phone, open my gallery portfolio. Photos of my work professionally shot. Price tags visible, sold markers in red. I don't hand them the phone. I just hold it where they can see. Uncle Timothy leans in. His eyebrows rise. These are beautiful. And these prices. Caroline. This is impressive. Thank you. Dad's jaw tightens. Anyone can post photos online and claim they sold pieces. Anyone can, I agree. But not everyone gets written up in Design Quarterly. That stops him. Mom's face has gone pale under her makeup. Design Quarterly? Uncle Timothy pulls out his own phone, searches. His expression shifts as he reads. Patricia, Gerald, did you know about this? She's listed as one of their rising artisans under 25. We don't follow craft magazines, Mom says dismissively. It's not a craft magazine, Uncle Timothy corrects. It's one of the most prestigious design publications in the country. He looks at me with something new in his eyes. Caroline, I'd love to talk with you more about your work. My firm is renovating our executive offices. We might need custom pieces. Before I can respond, a voice cuts through the conversation. Patricia, is this your daughter? The woman approaching is Vivian Pierce, stunning, confident, wearing success like a second skin. She walks straight to me and kisses both my cheeks like we're old friends. Caroline, darling, I didn't know your family was connected to Harrison and Cole. Timothy, your niece is one of my most talented artists. Her work is extraordinary. I didn't know Vivian would be here. Raymond must have told her. This man who barely knows me is orchestrating my vindication from 400 miles away. Mom's smile has frozen. You two know each other? Know each other? Vivian laughs. I represent Caroline's work. We've sold 14 pieces in the last 4 months. I have collectors waiting lists for her designs. She turns to me. Have you told them about the commission from the Ashworth Hotel? I haven't, because I just received that email yesterday. Not yet. She's designing custom furniture for their entire lobby renovation. 6 figures, Caroline. Well deserved. Mom's martini glass slips. She catches it, but gin splashes on her wrist. The conversation around us has stopped. Family members are listening now, watching my parents realize their daughter isn't the failure they expected. The crowd around us grows. My brother Christopher appears, confused about why everyone's gathered. More cousins. Aunt Margaret. People I haven't seen since I was a child, since I was someone they could pity or ignore. Uncle Timothy addresses the group. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my niece, Caroline Fletcher. She's become quite an accomplished furniture designer. The introductions blur. Handshakes, questions about my work, business cards pressed into my palm. Each interaction is another nail in my parents' carefully constructed narrative. Mom tries to salvage it. Of course, we've always known Caroline was creative. We encouraged her independence so she could pursue her passion. The lie lands so smoothly, I almost admire it. Almost. Is that what you call abandoning me in a parking lot? I say it quietly, but the words carry. Encouraging independence? The crowd goes silent. Dad's face flushes. Caroline, this isn't the place. Then when is? When you didn't recognize your own daughter? When Mom asked if we'd met before? Mom steps forward, voice low and urgent. You're making a scene. You made me disappear. I'm just making myself visible again. Uncle Timothy looks between us, understanding dawning. Patricia, what is she talking about? Mom's mouth opens, closes. She looks to Dad for help, but he's staring at the grass like answers might be written in the soil. They dropped me off at a bus station the day I graduated, I say, addressing my uncle directly. No apartment lined up, no job prospects, $200 and a goodbye. I was 18 years old and they decided parenting was finished. That's not how it happened. Dad finally speaks. We wanted you to learn self-reliance, to build character. You wanted me gone? I correct. There's a difference between teaching independence and erasing someone from your life. Aunt Margaret speaks up, her voice sharp. Patricia, is this true? Mom's composure is cracking. We did what we thought was best. Caroline was always so difficult, unmotivated. We couldn't keep supporting someone who had no direction. I had no direction? My laugh sounds foreign. I was 18. I'd just graduated. And instead of guidance, you gave me abandonment and called it a life lesson. Christopher steps forward. Mom, Dad, you told me Caroline chose to leave, that she wanted space from the family. We told everyone that, I say, looking at my brother. It's easier than admitting they threw away a daughter like she was trash they were tired of storing. Mom's eyes fill with tears, but they're angry tears, defensive tears. We gave you everything growing up. Private schools, music lessons, everything. And you were never grateful. You're right, I say. I wasn't grateful for conditional love that evaporated the second I became inconvenient. Dad finds his voice again. You're being dramatic. We gave you money. We set you up. You gave me $200 and the phone number for a bus station. And look at you now. He gestures at my clothes. My success. You proved you didn't need us. You proved we were right. That's when I understand. They will never admit fault. They will rewrite this story until I'm the ungrateful child, and they're the tough love parents who made hard choices. They'll dine out on this narrative at dinner parties, telling friends how their daughter became successful after they pushed her toward independence. I look at Mom, at Dad, at these two people who share my genetics but not my scars. You know what I learned sanding wood? I say quietly. Every cut shows. Every mark stays. You can smooth it, seal it, make it beautiful. But the grain remembers. The wood remembers. I turn to Uncle Timothy. I'd be honored to discuss furniture for your offices. Here's my information. I hand him a card Raymond had printed for me. Professional. Simple. Caroline Fletcher, designer. Then I address the crowd. Thank you all for your interest in my work. If anyone wants to discuss commissions or just wants to see what someone can build from nothing, I'm available. I look at my parents one last time. You didn't recognize me because you never really saw me, and now you'll spend the rest of your lives watching me succeed in rooms you can't enter. You wanted me gone? Congratulations. I'm gone. But I took myself with me. I walk away before they can respond. Before anyone can stop me. The town car is waiting. As I slide into the back seat, I see Mom standing by the bar, mascara running. Dad's face is red, angry, embarrassed. Uncle Timothy is talking to them, his posture rigid with disappointment. I don't feel triumph. I feel free. The town car pulls away from Riverside Park. I watch through the rear window as the reunion shrinks. Those white tents becoming smaller. The people becoming dots. My parents becoming ghosts I no longer have to carry. The driver meets my eyes in the rearview mirror. Rough day? Necessary day. He nods like he understands what that means. My phone buzzes. Texts rolling in from family members I barely know. Aunt Margaret. We had no idea. I'm so sorry. Please let me make this right. Christopher. Can we talk? I need to understand what happened. Uncle Timothy. Caroline. I meant what I said about the office furniture. But more importantly, I'd like to take you to dinner. No business. Just family who should have been there. I don't respond yet. I'm not ready to decide who gets access to this new version of me. One email stands out. From Vivienne. Caroline. I don't know what history I walked into today, but I meant every word I said. Your work is extraordinary. Beyond the Ashworth Commission, I have 3 galleries in New York asking about you. There's a world opening up, and you deserve to walk into it. Also, Raymond called. He said to tell you, the grain remembers, so do the people who matter. Proud of you. Vivienne. I lean back against leather seats that smell like someone else's money. My reflection in the window shows a woman I'm still learning to recognize. Not the girl who was abandoned, but not entirely separate from her either. The grain remembers. If you made it this far, you're part of this journey. Subscribe to Formidable Revenge channel for more stories where betrayal gets what it deserves. Comment, The Grain Remembers, if this story hit different. And hit that like button because Caroline's story matters. The car drops me at a hotel Raymond booked. 5 stars. Ridiculous thread count on the sheets. A bathtub that could fit 3 people and a view of downtown Elmhurst that makes the city look like scattered jewelry. I order room service. Steak cooked medium rare. Real vegetables. Chocolate cake that tastes like celebration. I eat slowly, tasting each bite, reminding myself this is what I built. My phone rings. It's Raymond. How bad? He asks without preamble. They didn't recognize me. Silence. Then. Good. Good? Means you're not who they remember. Means you're exactly who you built yourself to be. I smile. Vivienne was there. I know. I called her. Figured you could use an ally. Thank you. Don't thank me. You did this. I just held the door open. After we hang up, I sit by the window watching traffic move like blood through city veins. I think about the girl at the bus station, shaking hands holding a diploma that felt like a lie. I think about room 7 at the Starlight Inn, about sawdust in my lungs, about hands that learned to coax beauty from scraps. I think about Mom's face when she realized her daughter was a stranger, about Dad's anger when he couldn't rewrite the narrative fast enough. I could hate them. Part of me does, but hatred is heavy and I've carried enough weight. Instead, I pull out my laptop and open a new project file, the Ashworth Hotel Commission. 6 figures for furniture that will outlive everyone in that park today. Pieces that will hold strangers, support their weight, give them places to rest. I sketch until my eyes blur. A lobby desk with clean lines and honest joints. Chairs that don't apologize for taking up space. Tables that know their worth. 3 days later, I'm back in Ashford. Back in Raymond's workshop where the smell of sawdust feels like home. Helen brings coffee and asks no questions. Raymond points to new lumber he ordered, premium walnut and cherry, and says simply, "Get to work." I do. Months pass. The Ashworth Hotel commission becomes reality. My furniture fills their lobby like proof. Uncle Timothy's firm orders 12 custom desks. Christopher flies to Ashford to see me, to apologize for not knowing, for not asking questions. We talk for 6 hours. And by the end, we're not quite siblings, but we're not strangers anymore either. Mom and Dad send one email. Subject: "We should talk." I don't open it. Not out of spite. Out of self-preservation. Some doors, once closed, should stay closed. The grain remembers. And so do I. 1 year after the reunion, Vivienne calls with news. "Caroline, you've been nominated for the Harrison Award. It's the most prestigious recognition in American furniture design. Under 30 category. You're the youngest nominee." "Do I win?" She laughs. "We'll find out in 3 months. But nominated? That's already winning." The award ceremony is held in Manhattan. Black tie, crystal chandeliers. People who measure worth in legacy and craft. I wear a dress Helen helps me choose. Midnight blue silk that moves like water. I don't win. The award goes to a designer from California who's been working for 15 years. But when they announce the nominees and my name echoes through that ballroom, I stand and wave and feel no disappointment. Because I'm here. Because I built this. Because the girl they abandoned at a bus station is shaking hands with people who respect her work, not her bloodline. Raymond and Helen fly out for the ceremony. They sit at my table wearing pride like formal wear. After dinner, Raymond leans close and says, "Your parents are here." I freeze. "What?" "Back corner. They bought tickets. Probably saw your nomination in the press." I don't turn around. I don't need to. "Let them watch," I say. "Let them see what grew in the space where their daughter used to be." We toast with champagne that tastes like validation. Later, as I'm leaving, I see them. Mom in a designer gown. Dad in a tuxedo that probably cost more than my first 6 months of rent. They're standing near the coat check, waiting. Mom steps forward. "Caroline, you are magnificent." I know. "We'd like to talk. To explain." "There's nothing to explain. You made a choice. I made a different one. We're both living with the results." Dad clears his throat. "We're proud of you." "You don't get to be proud. Pride requires presence. You abandoned me. We were teaching you independence. You were protecting your comfort. There's a difference." Mom's eyes well with tears. Real ones this time, I think. "Can we start over?" I consider the question. Consider the years I spent angry. Consider the success I built using rage as fuel. Consider the person I became when no one was watching. "No," I say finally. "We can't start over. But maybe, eventually, we can start something new. On my terms. When I'm ready." "When will that be?" "I don't know. But I'll let you know." I walk past them into Manhattan night that smells like rain and possibility. Raymond and Helen are waiting by a car that's taking us to dinner, to celebration, to life that continues forward instead of looking back. "You okay?" Helen asks. "I'm better than okay," I say. "I'm free." And I am. The girl who was abandoned built herself into a woman who cannot be erased. The daughter who wasn't recognized created work that speaks louder than DNA. The child who was thrown away grew into someone who understands that family is built, not born. I make furniture that will outlive me. Tables where strangers will gather. Chairs that will hold weight and secrets. Desks where people will write their own stories. And every piece carries the same grain, the same truth. What doesn't destroy you can become the foundation of something beautiful. My parents didn't recognize me at their reunion. I'm grateful. Because the person they would have recognized doesn't exist anymore. She died at a bus station and was reborn in sawdust and rage, and the slow, patient work of building something from nothing. I am Caroline Fletcher. I design furniture that matters. And I am exactly who I built myself to be. If this story moved you, changed you, or made you believe in the power of building yourself from scratch, subscribe to Formidable Revenge channel. Hit that notification bell. Share this with someone who needs to hear that betrayal is just the first chapter, not the whole story. Comment below. What would you build from your pain? Because that's the real revenge, becoming so undeniably yourself that the people who abandoned you can't even recognize the masterpiece they threw away. I'm Caroline Fletcher, and this is what revenge looks like when you're too busy building empires to look back.